All right, who has a 100-word summary of the trouble you guys got into last week?
The boss from Shadows
Oh.
over Mysteria 2 teleported onto the deck of our airship, and it went about as well as it did for that guy in the original game.
He got insta-clipped.
That freaking guy.
I cannot. I was like, oh right, yeah, that guy got jobbed. Like, like, what was his plan? I don't.
To get shot in the head and then, like, beat to a pulp or whatever.
I've read the adventure cover to cover multiple times. Cannot answer that question. Don't know what that guy's plan was.
To be fair, like, he is clearly, like, not meant to be a recurring villain.
No.
Clearly not.
Was that just like a shot at like villains? Like, haha, my master plan is, oh, I am dead.
It's
Like,
possible. Like, so if you get to the second round of that combat, the fight gets more dangerous because first of all, he can split himself, like he makes a duplicate of himself.
Oh,
And his ship can start attacking.
Like,
Why didn't he make... Wait, hold on. What I want to know is why he didn't make the duplicate before he stepped over, had his duplicate cast the dimension door so he could walk in with his action.
That's an excellent question, Treble.
Like, okay.
If I had written this adventure, that's how I would have had him do it. So he shows up as a duplicate the round after his giant, like, space jellyfish begins attacking your ship. Like, not the round before.
See, I would have had him send the duplicate over first just to gauge the party's response, then come over.
I think the
we're
duplicates
not on the same thing.
I think they've got to be within like 30 feet of each other. I don't think they can. But like you can dimension door. I don't know. Anyway,
You can bring someone with dimension.
he's dead now. You guys got him. That was
fact of the matter is, he's been jobbed, and therefore,
Bam, sorted.
that was a freebie. Everybody say goodbye to good old what's his name here with the big fork.
I don't remember. We have his fork now, though.
Oh, I don't
do
have
have
my
his fork.
tablet hooked up, so I can't. Write
I don't know
it back.
who has laid claim
The,
to his fork, but
The obvious Homestuck MC. OC.
The fork has fallen through space and time into the multiverse and lands in
Osprum's domain.
like it just lands in the hand of some
Oh, that's too bad.
cleric of Osprey or something.
That fork looks like a good back scratcher for Sarge. He can use it on the count.
Like the secret
Yes,
origins
sir.
of the Kordrashi fork.
So, his giant jellyfish monster used an ability called Jammer Scream to disable the spelljamming hell. Last time on Light of Xaryxis, the Xaryxian Empire attacked the heroes' world, forcing them to take refuge on the Rock of Brawl. There they met a sympathetic Giff named Crux. There he is.
Commodore.
Aboard his ship, the Second Wind, the characters headed to a wizard's tower on the outskirts of Wild Space, where Crux hopes to acquire a map. En route to the tower, the Second Wind was attacked by Hestane. There he is. in his tight pants. An evil ally of the Xaryxian Empire. So yeah, Crux goes below decks down to the spelljamming helm. What's your spelljammer's name?
That's this tiefling lady that we
Fell.
Fell.
Miss
What I have here. Yeah.
Miss on the nose. I think there's been a more on the nose art of a tiefling ever produced.
Yeah, it's like player's handbook tiefling like artwork right there.
she just get like a big sign that she carries around that just says "I'm a rogue."
So like, the thing I love most about this is Wizard of the Coast is like we're getting away from stereotypes in her, and then like this picture exists.
But she has a heart of gold, you guys.
I think all three of these characters are stereotypes.
Yeah. Like what's good for the PC is not good for the NPC.
So yeah, Crux and Mr. Flinch, his first mate, his Hadozee mate that he had pawned off on Fell when he rented the vessel to her, go down to check out the spelljamming helm, and takes a long drag on his pipe. Well, settle in, everyone. We could be here for a while, go ahead and take the benefits of a short rest.
Cool.
Oh, where is that? There it is, right there.
This is another really dumb part of the story. Don't know why I wrote it this way.
Not missing
So,
any of this.
do
Okay.
they talk? So, like, is there like a link? Is the spelljamming helm just permanently disabled?
It'll be disabled for some amount of time, but neither Crux nor Fel know how long it will be. So what happens when they have the big space jellyfish has this ability called Jammer Scream, and if somebody is actively attuned to and controlling the ship via the spelljamming helm, they can try to reduce the effects of the Jammer Scream by taking the psychic onslaught onto themselves, which is what Fel did. So she took like 10d6 psychic damage or something, but even on that, I think it affords her a saving throw, which she failed. So she took a bunch of psychic damage. You heard her cry out from below deck, and the Spelljammer helm can be disabled anywhere between 10 minutes and 10 weeks.
So did the brain damage make her any nicer?
She's not unpleasant.
Does she need treatment? Like, is she in immediate danger?
She'll spend some hit dice. She doesn't have a stat block. She's not a character. Don't worry about her.
Okay.
No, she's not going to die from this.
Well,
Although,
she did die, we would have a pilot that would be stuck here a lot longer.
if she did die, it wouldn't matter because I don't think this adventure ever mentions this character ever again.
Okay.
Yeah, no. We could just say she died and be fine.
Yeah.
She went to live in the Tiefling farm, up country.
She went to live on the farm from the wild. Lots of people live on that farm now.
I really want a detailed list of this farm
It's
because
pretty crowded up there.
it comes up so often.
It's getting really crowded up there.
Yeah, it is.
So
We're gonna
Fel and
need a-
Crux tell you that it'll take anywhere between 10 hours and 10 weeks for the Spelljamming helm to come back online. After 1 hour, the second wind is kind of drifting through wild space. You see a pod of the largest creatures you've ever seen in your life. Gargantuan creatures. Difficult to tell at distance, but Mr. Flinch tells you that the Kindori can grow to be up to 80 feet long. So standing aboard the deck of the ship, you see a pod of these creatures floating a little over 100 feet away from you.
I don't suppose that
Space Whales.
wrangling one and getting them to draw us in a direction is feasible.
Are they considered animals?
If we had some rope, we could have them tow us.
They functionally look like whales.
Right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was picturing.
What's the range on speak with animals?
Miles, you're standing on the deck. You say, I don't suppose we can just wrangle one and let it drag us through wild space. To which Mr. Flinch looks aside, says, why not?
That's what I just suggested. Or he glares at them.
I was saying the thing, but you just ignored me. Like, what?
Mr. Flinch didn't ignore you. He acknowledged you.
No, but Lukari is all grumpy. He's like, oh, I'm being ignored.
Well,
I was like,
Lukari-
I said...
Lukari is grumpy. Have you seen his,
yeah,
his
you're
character
right.
art?
Old
I
man
think
yells
that-
at monkey.
Yeah.
Sarge can cast speak with animals. He'll do that and try and
What's the range on speak with animals?
It doesn't actually list it.
Is it is it self?
It says range is self, so I can.
Oh yeah.
I
But so
gain the
long
ability
as
to
the
do
animal
it.
can, like, it's, you know,
Yeah.
whatever
So-
a normal animal can hear you.
I might have to like shout at it and be like, "Hey, listen." or something.
Like we could load you up into the catapult. Well, we don't have a mangonel. We have a.
You have a tree that throws
Yeah.
stones if you can convince it to.
I mean, my boots can fly, so I could like fly over and be like, "Hey, listen, buddy." I assuming that works in space. I
You
don't know.
can, and it will work, but as soon as you leave the air bubble generated by the ship, your personal air bubble lasts for only like a couple of minutes.
Oh,
Not so bad.
well, I'll cast air bubble. Do I have to go further out of the ship's air bubble to reach these whales?
Oh yes, because they're about 100 feet away. The air bubble on a ship is about twice. It's a sphere, about twice as big in mass as the ship is. So if you imagine like the center point on the ship being here, I think these are 5-foot squares.
Okay, Sarge might be able to do this.
The,
Sarge can fly out there and just cast air bubble.
This isn't like a warp impulse thing, right? We don't have some other forms of propulsion when we don't have spell jamming. We're just completely stranded, right?
You
No,
do. Your ship's like normal movement is like 35 feet per round.
Oh, we can move the ship a little
Yes,
bit. Okay.
you could, but getting to your destination at the edge of
not
Doomspace.
moving destination. But we could fly over to those whales.
Well, Sarge can fly over there too.
If
Fly a
they're
little
only
closer.
100 feet, I mean, that's well within yelling range.
Well,
So
if
let's do the two ideas we have on the table. So Sarge is going to put your boots on, cast Speak with Animals, go fly over to them, while Nott's going to give the order to get the ship moving in that direction. Is that correct?
Yeah, let's do
That
that.
seems right.
And what's
Okay,
Miles'
I'll cast
ideal?
Speak.
I was going to say, hopefully that either of these plans of attack don't end up spooking the whales and they end up going away from us.
Okay, Miles, give me an. This is okay. I'm just gonna say this is
Milos.
this
You
is
said Miles.
Did I? You know what? My friend of mine, his baby's name is Miles. So.
Oh, that's adorable.
No, he's a baby. Babies are not adorable. Don't do that. His puppy Lucy is super adorable. Golden Retriever. Oh, she's so friendly. And she's like huge. She's like I saw her as a puppy. I'm like, oh, cute puppy. Next time I saw her, she weighed 400 pounds. And she was bigger than the house that they live in.
That's what happens. I have it on good authority from Clifford the Big Red Dog. If you give a dog too much love, that's what happens.
Oh, no.
Oh no! If
so-
you don't love them, they'll remain small.
This is the incorrect call for skill check in this case, but it is the one the book calls for. Milos, go ahead and give me an animal handling check. Wisdom animal handling at disadvantage. Not. So you get the ship moving in that direction. And as you do, you see very quickly, even before Sarge has a chance to cross the gap, the pod is aware of the ship, but they're keeping distance. They're not approaching it. So as you move the ship toward them, they're moving further away. You're not going to be able to catch them that way.
Okay. Well, then we won't. I'll have them stop moving the ship once that happens. Then.
Okay.
How much rope do we have?
You have as much rope as you need. You're aboard a ship. Like you've got.
You have rigging and stuff.
If you don't have thousands of feet of rope, you are shipping wrong. Which, given Crux's... Sarge,
Yes.
you approach the creatures. How fast can you move?
35.
Okay. The creatures are even larger than you could have imagined. Like, leaving the deck of your ship, it's really difficult to gauge distances in wild space because you have so few frames of reference. But you were thinking that maybe the creature was just very far away. No, it was only about 90 or 100 feet away, and it's just gargantuan. So you pull up close next to one. And this thing could just inhale and you just be gone.
Oh, I mean, Sarge is a soldier, so he's not afraid of that, but he's aware of that.
Okay.
And he's gonna say, hello. Our ship has been, damn it, I don't know the nautical word for a ship that's like, scuttled, is that?
Set adrift.
So, okay, there you go, yeah. Our ship has been set adrift. Would you be willing to tow us? Because he doesn't know how to speak to these people.
Okay.
Or these animals.
They're people.
Creatures, we'll call them.
Actually, when you get close enough to it, you could stop flying because these things are big enough to generate their own gravity plane.
Yeah.
That seems rude, though, to land on someone you haven't had a conversation with.
Land on someone's face. So this is the other...
Dunk. Excuse me.
Going by their entry in the monster manual in what's it called, Boo's Astral Menagerie, neither speak with animals nor an animal handling check should work here because they're celestials, not beasts. But The rules specifically call for an animal handling check, so I guess they're both celestials and beasts. I don't know. Yeah, you get some very... You can understand the speech because you've cast the spell. You get some very just bored / curious... condolences is the wrong word. But the creatures are not intelligent. And so reasoning with them is not going to be possible. But they seem to understand that you're set adrift, but like being set adrift is just an excellent lifestyle. Like congratulations on on being set adrift. Give me an animal handling check from your position. How did Milos do on his?
Oh, I got 4.
A 4? Okay. So yeah, Milos, you're observing these creatures from the
Aw.
deck.
That's too bad. I rolled a 1.
A
I have
1.
a total of 2.
Okay. Yeah, being this close, you can tell that the creatures pose no threat, but they're not going to approach the ship, at least not on their own.
Shoot a rope from the ballista.
I'm in addition to being a certified doctor, I'm a certified veterinarian. Do you want me to try?
I could carry you over.
Yeah, if you want to try to make that check from the deck, you'll be making it a disadvantage. If you want to try to get close, like Sarge has, you can make it without the disadvantage.
I literally can survive. Like, I need to breathe, but like I can hold my breath for like some stupid amount of time, like hours.
Oh wait, hold on. Are we outside of the air bubble that I had to cast air bubble?
You had to leave the air bubble of the vessel, but when you do that, your body generates about a minute or 2 of air just around you.
Is that sufficient to get to the whale, which probably has its own air bubble?
Yes, once you get close enough to the whale, you don't have a choice. You're inside of its air bubble, and you have to like land on its face.
Okay, so I'm not gonna burn the spell to cast air bubble.
Like
I'm gonna be okay.
I like Sarge just like is just standing on this thing's just next to his like, to make eye contact. You're just standing on its giant eyelid, looking down at this huge featureless pool. So Mousse, you're gonna gloop your way over there.
I'm going to. I picture like Mousse is like when outside of the tethers of gravity, he just like goes back to his natural shape, which is
A ball.
like those pictures of like liquids in space. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where they're like yeah. Like he
Does
can't
Moose need assistance? I can like find a sponge and absorb him and carry him over or something.
Wow.
He's not that moist. Not that wet.
Oh, that's the forbidden word. Oh no.
So yeah, I'm just going to like get into your arms, tap you on the shoulder with a pseudopod.
Yeah, I'll carry you whatever direction you want me to.
Moose is also carrying a rope with him, like we'll just say thousands of feet of rope, like going to the ship. Like it's just a coil of rope.
Okay.
He's carrying with him, like from the ship, so
you're
it's attached
you're
to the
tethered.
ship.
You're tethered to the ship. All right, go ahead and make that animal handling check.
I don't want to use McDohl's dice.
Sarge will just like talk to the just distract, I guess.
Okay.
During this time.
That's a 12.
12. So you would definitely be able to lasso one of these things, but doing it at this distance is going to be very difficult. You're going to have to lure them over to the ship somehow, and you don't know exactly how you could do that. Sarge, you continue talking to them. You don't get a good sense. I have no idea what these creatures eat.
I don't.
That's what he can ask. Yeah, actually, I was thinking about what would you like to eat?
While he's got some distractive, can I like, because like I had him carry me to the Kindori.
Mm-hmm.
Can I like lasso one around the neck?
Doesn't have a neck. It's a giant whale.
Well,
it's a gargantuan whale.
can I lasso it around the chin? I don't know.
I imagined that you just wrapped the rope around it in its entirety, which would take
Right.
time. But
Yeah,
you
I just
do
want
it.
to. Yeah, I just want to do it. Just like open a gigantic lasso and then like put it around the space whale.
Give
The
me
simple operation.
Give me a strength athletics check.
All right.
And Sarge.
Yeah.
You ask the creature what it would like to eat, and the Kandori tells you that it has no desire to eat you because you do not glow.
Sarge looks back at Mousse as I guess Sarge is assisting Mousse in like creating this lasso.
You're not doing that if you're talking to the creature. You're doing one or the other.
I
okay.
I can wait.
Well, I would ask Mousse, do we have anything that glows?
Oh,
This creature seems to want to eat something to that effect.
why would we? We don't have anything that glows.
Maybe we could lure it back, and then it could tell us.
Does Moosel scout? I don't, we've kind of established. Does anybody have a light cantrip?
Yes.
Like make the light glow.
You're gonna come back and tell us that? Because I don't know if we can hear you.
He's shouting across the void.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're 100 feet apart, so yeah, you can hear each other if you shout.
Yeah. So Lukari will raise a hand, flick his wrist, and cast a light cantrip on Moose's head. Does this work?
You're casting it on
Is that-
Mousse?
Is that what's the range on? I don't think the.
I think you have to
light is-
touch something. With
Oh,
it.
yeah.
No,
it's a
oh, it
touch.
has the. Oh, is it touch? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's touch. I guess he won't do that then.
Open it in your hand.
Yeah, Lukari will open his hand.
What about the 1,000 feet of rope that we have connecting the two? Can you light that?
It's not connected yet.
Oh, boo. Okay.
Are you?
Lukari.
Do I get?
Yeah.
You stand on the deck. You hear Moose shouting at you. You cast the light cantrip. As you do, I'm gonna need a strength saving throw from Moose and Sarge.
Hey, I get advantage on these. Because I'm big. It's not super helpful.
No.
I have 15.
15. How'd Moose do?
No.
3.
Well, it's a 6. It's a 6.
As Lukari begins flashing lights from the deck, several of the Kandori immediately turn unexpectedly and begin heading towards the ship, taking both of you unawares. Moose.
Yep. Lash myself down with pseudopods.
Yeah, you are knocked clear of the Kandori's gravity field and kind of set adrift off in some catty corner direction.
This is
Sarge
not
will
ideal.
immediately jump off after him.
Okay.
As long as he sees them.
Oh yeah, no, this thing begins to move, and for a moment your world is just vertigo as everything gets disoriented. The Kandori does not seem to pay any attention to the little fleas that
Oh, we're too tiny.
were kicking around its face.
Lukari turns to Naught. Is it working? Do you think this is what they wanted?
Well, they certainly seem to be aware of us now.
So the whole pod has stopped moving and turned towards the vessel. The Kandori that Moose and Sarge were bothering actually is moving towards the ship. And as it gets closer and closer and closer, it stops within about 15 feet of the vessel, just regarding especially Lukari with his glowing hand very curiously.
Lukari will wave his hand around and see if the whale seems to follow it.
It's hard to say, just because the thing's eye is so gigantic, and I don't think these creatures have, like, you can't really tell what direction they're looking in. But,
Do we have a long stick?
oh yeah, you can.
Lukari will put out the light cantrip and go get a very long stick.
Are
Sarge.
you gonna like do like the thing with you have like a fishing rod and then like,
Glowing carrot on a stick.
like a glowing carrot on a stick?
That's
Okay.
exactly what he's going to do.
Well, we still have to lash them to the boat. So.
Sarge, give me an athletics check. Do this at disadvantage if you're wrangling Moose.
Oh, hold on. I normally get advantage, so we'll get rid of that. 11.
11. Okay. You can grab Mousse or the rope on this turn, but not both. And
Oh, I'm
whichever.
grabbing Mousse.
Okay.
No, grab the rope. Grab the rope. Grab the rope. I'm fine.
If you grab,
Like-
if you don't grab the rope, you're going to drift further away from both the Kindori and the second wind.
Well, I can fly back, right?
True.
With my boots. No, I grab Mousse. Absolutely. As a sergeant, I care about my crew.
So it takes you a few moments now that you're not inside any gravity plane, and your brain is adjusting to like being directionless and weightless, but you manage to clasp hold of Moose's extremely moist pseudopod. And yeah, because you have a fly speed, you would have no difficulty flying back down to the deck.
Yeah.
Anybody at this point can climb onto the Kindori and attempt to affix a rope to it with a strength athletics check.
Sarge has advantage on these,
Okay.
so I would volunteer.
So the book describes this as you could use this check to lasso the Kindori. I just don't physically see how that's possible.
It's because we lasso the tail.
Even the tail, like the weight of the rope you would need to lasso a creature this size would be way too heavy for anybody
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
So
It's Spelljammer. Just go with it.
it's true, but I'm picturing like Sarge actually has to fly over there and affix the rope to the creature, which you can do with an athletics check.
Well, I got a natural 20, so I have 24.
Yeah. So yeah, Sarge, after a couple minutes, as long as Lukari keeps the lights on, at this point, Crux comes back up from below deck, crosses his arms, looks on in approval. Very clever solution.
Sarge will salute and say, "Thank you, sir."
So we're gonna do the carrot on a stick thing. You got like a? Does anybody have like a quarter staff or something?
So here's the deal. It's going to take an animal handling check to make the Kindori move where you want it. I'll give you advantage on that check if you're using this carrot on a stick idea with like plopping light in front of it and getting it to chase the light.
I
Right.
don't really have anything I can give you that's.
Yeah, I don't have anything
That would work
particularly
like
work for
that.
that.
Well, we have. Oh, okay, we do have something. So I'm gonna take this stupid trident, tie a rope to it, and then like get like I don't know, like a jug or something, and have him cast the light cantrip on the jug. And then just dangle it over the front of this thing. I've got a +6 on animal handling. Does anybody else beat me?
No,
I
do
not
not.
me.
Like I was looking for a quarter staff or something, but we have the stupid trident from the stupid man in his stupid hot pants.
Okay, so yeah, give me a wisdom animal handling check. Add advantage. Looking for a 15.
16.
16.
17.
So yeah, you managed to put this trident to good work. And so Mousse is in charge of the operation, kind of getting up to the helm of the ship, holding the trident out. And yeah, the Kindori that you have lassoed moves in the direction that Mousse indicates. The rest of the pod follows you guys at a distance of about 100 feet, coming behind you. And so it is for the next 3 days or so. So everybody can take the benefits of a long rest. I just kind of love they make this big deal about like, here's how long the spelljamming helm stays disabled, and then immediately you can't even take a long rest before the Kindori. They're there in an hour.
I appreciate how the intended solution is to carrot on a stick these whales.
Yeah. Well, the other solution is to not let your spelljamming helm get jammer screened.
Come on. Look who you're playing with.
Well, no, there's just a lot of notes here that say like, oh, if the second wind still has an intact spelljamming helm, but I don't see how that could happen. Like, you would have to kill the jellyfish before it jammer screams you, which I just,
That's not gonna.
How,
That's not
right?
gonna happen.
yeah, I have no idea, but it's a contingency. Some group somewhere has done it, I guess.
There.
Thank you, play testers.
There is a artist rendition of Mousse on top of the space whale.
Wow, this is
I have a feeling that Mott will love this scene.
Mousse just a green meat wad?
At the moment, yeah. That's the thing they say about the plasmoids. That's their natural state. Their natural state is just a round ooze.
Well, yeah, just to find a bubble because it's the least surface area, right?
Right. And then like they can shape themselves to have
I mean, just
a head and limbs.
definitely not
So
Mousse because I'm not seeing a Phantom Mask on here.
Well,
Does he like group it inside of his body for safekeeping?
yes.
The Phantom Mask is over here.
He put it on the jug.
Yeah, the Phantom Mask is on the end of the thing. That's what's glowing. Yes.
It takes 72 hours
Flag.
to travel at the speed of Kindori, which is 60 feet per round. And they gave them the hover property, which would only be necessary if they were in something else's gravity plane.
Wait, we're moving twice as fast. So we could have just started flying and been there in 6 days.
No, your ship moves at 35 feet per round.
You said that we were moving at 60 feet.
Yes, that's how fast the Kindori move.
So they move. Yes, so it would have taken 6 days.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's exactly accurate. Correct.
This is not a solution. Like what?
We really stalled out like 99.999% of the way there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think that the Kindori can travel at like spelljamming.
Given my conversation with them, I don't think that they care how fast they go.
It does say that a Kindori skeleton can be transformed into a spelljamming ship by placing the helm inside of it. So
That's fun. What
That's
happens
kind
if you
of
cast
morbid.
Raise Dead on it, though?
So 72 hours later, you guys can go and take the benefits of a long rest. Your journey is not particularly harrowing. You just have lots of Kindori sounds the whole way.
That's cool.
Fel takes the
These
opportunity
bills are
to convalesce in her room. And after a few days of travel, Topola's tower comes into view. This is an old friend of Crux. He wants to go to her to thinks that she has a map of your target, which is called Doom Space. The Crooked Tower perches atop a small asteroid surrounded by a cloud of twinkling cosmic dust. Through his spyglass, Crux examines the rock upon which the tower stands and the decrepit wooden pier that juts out from one side of it. "Mr. Flinch," he says, "ready the jolly boat." Now, if the second wind gets destroyed, I guess you're just supposed to ride the Kindori here.
That must make the because I've read a little bit of this like before, but I didn't read this far ahead. That must make the rest of the adventure incredibly tedious not to have a ship. Like you've got to like that would just involve like more and more ridiculous ways of like advancing the like more and more like that's like Final Fantasy V territory is what that is.
You have to
Are you
start
suggesting
bartering
we
with the
get rid of
whales.
So yeah, looking at the asteroid, this is not the asteroid bite. This is still the Rock of Brawl, which should not be on this table anymore. But this is where also I put Crux's ship. So
Yeah.
this has happened. He laments that Topola has not been caring for her dock. It's just this decrepit, just worm-eaten jut of broken wood poking out from the side of the asteroid, which is covered in birds' nests, by the way.
Are there space worms?
I guess that
Of course there are space worms. Why wouldn't there be?
just means that she's not one for entertaining guests usually.
So yeah, his feeling is that bringing the second wind up alongside this dock might cause more damage to the dock. So he's just going to bring the second wind to a close. He gives the order to cut the Kindori loose. And they're just going to take you guys are just going to take a jolly boat over to the tower. So say fond farewells to the Kindori. They were here
Goodbye.
They were here for one scene.
May you find glowing food.
Yeah, they just eat the light that comes off of stars. So if you flash lights at them, they come over to your ship to see if you're a star.
What a life.
They plants?
They're photosynthetic space whales. What do you want from me, man?
I was fully.
Do I have
expecting
speak
a
with
fly.
plants?
They're filter feeders, but they eat photons instead of plankton.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Oh, good. I'm glad it makes sense to somebody.
It makes
Makes sense.
all of the sense.
So here's this crooked tower that you guys are approaching.
Wow, that is really
That's a wizard
crooked.
ass. That's a wizard ass tower right there. That's a wizard ass lady. Look at her. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
this is Topola the bird lady.
Moose, if you fall asleep in this tower, you'll roll.
I actually really like that art.
I like how she
She's got a
walks
little-
around barefoot.
She has a little kiwi on her head.
Her,
Oh
her-
my god, that's so adorable.
her toenails are painted. Yeah, she's
This is a little bit Ayane Kojima or whatever. Yeah.
basically Radagast.
A little bit.
Yeah. Like she's got she's a
Oh,
crazy,
this is a character.
crazy bird lady.
I like the little meteor belt orbits going on the skew tower.
Scores of pelicans, mollymocks, and smaller birds nesting on the asteroid squawk as you approach the rickety dock. At the end of the dock, two gray shark-like creatures fight over the remains of a pelican. A woman with frayed robes and bare feet sits in a rocking chair at the base of the tower, watching the fracas, her face half hidden by a wide-brimmed hat that has a blue jay perched on it. The woman leaps to her feet, brandishes a staff, and snarls, "Go on, get!" A fiery ray springs from her fingertip, frightening away the shark-like creatures. Crux approaches her first. Seems very, very pleased, the way that he might be seeing an old friend. Topola, it's been too long. You guys can talk to the NPC now.
Oh, we thought the NPC was gonna say something.
We were
Yeah.
waiting for introductions.
She is busying herself scaring off these shark-like creatures.
What are we doing here again? What are we looking for?
She has a map. She has a map to Doom Space.
Excuse me, my lady. We heard you had a map.
To Doom Space.
Topola, as Crux explains the situation to her, and you would expect when you tell someone, hey, we're going to Doom Space, to perhaps talk you out of it, or at least express concern. Topola does neither. This is a woman who, immediately upon meeting her, she is just forever lost in her own little world.
Do you think she heard us?
Oh, she heard you. She just, instead of expressing concern that you need a map to Doom Space, she expresses curiosity. Like, oh, going to Doom Space. I hear it's a very nice place to vacation this time of year. She does, however, seem very happy to see Commodore Crux again. And she insists on bringing you all inside and giving you the tour of her tower.
Sure.
Okay, I guess we're going
I
on a field
don't-
trip.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No,
I'm going
the
there.
book is very clear on this. You're not allowed to discuss business with Topola until she gives you the full tour of her tower.
So Sarge is
Okay.
willing to, but he is rather heavy.
I mean, so is Commodore Crux.
Oh
Commodore-
yeah, no, there's no problem.
Oh, she
Yeah.
is. She
If he's
insists-
comfortable, then yeah.
The physical structure of the tower is far more robust than it looks. So some features of the tower. There are harmless birds' nests in all areas of the tower. The place is just a giant bird's nest. There are no natural windows in the tower, but as she brings you into the first floor of the tower, she can reach out. She can create a window wherever she likes just by touching the walls. She claps 3 times to activate a continual flame spell to illuminate the bottom floor of the tower. And You hear the clicking and whirring of autognomes moving hither and thither all throughout the tower, which she explains. These autognomes, by the way, each of them sport a dazzling metal mustache.
Why don't you have a dazzling metal
Is it-
mustache?
Is it like
I
a
mean, I
handlebar
could. I think
mustache,
that's
or-
what we need in a given day. I've got the wrench for it.
She explains
Wrench.
that she purchased a telescope from Orwick Cogsworth, an inventor from the Rock of Brawl, who, as part of the bargain, threw in 8 autognomes built in his likeness.
Wait, wouldn't the autognomes cost more than the? Man, she must drive a hard bargain.
The only directive that she's given them is to defend Topola from hostile creatures. Coming into the first floor, 4 ring-shaped garden terraces line the walls of the cylindrical chamber. The gardens are vertically spaced every 10 feet and brimming with luscious fruits, vegetables, and golden wheat. 4 mechanical gnomes wearing harnesses tend to the plants. The harnesses are attached to ropes that loop around pulleys affixed to the ceiling, enabling the gnomes to hoist themselves into the air and move from one plot to the other. Most of my sustenance comes from these gardens, says Topola. I get regular deliveries of fresh soil from the Dilwar merchants, and they get homegrown food and birds' eggs in return. She introduces the 4 autognomes as Orwick 1, Orwick 3, Orwick 6, and Orwick 8.
Pleasure.
That's a good naming system.
So there's no stairs or ladder or anything. She uses a magical rope and pulley system to go from one floor to the other. Nothing in the book addresses the actual listing of the tower floors. But she shows you how the pulley system works and invites you up to the second floor.
Yeah. Go up.
Okay.
As the tour continues, she pulls you all up past the gardens. This floor houses a modest kitchen where 2 mechanical gnomes are preparing dinner. Furnishings include an unmade bed, a wardrobe topped with birds' nests, and a bookshelf packed with astrological texts and more birds' nests. These are my living quarters, says Topola, where I read my books and take my meals. My autognomes have no shortage of recipes. Today's repast is a deep-fried night scarver steak with a lunar bechamel,
What makes the bechamel lunar?
because it's from a moon.
Oh, moon cheese! Oh!
Oh God! I
Treble.
was like, wait a sec. I didn't get there.
She introduces her 2 cooks as Orwick 2 and Orwick 4.
Pleasure to meet you, Orwick 2 and Orwick 4.
And then she brings you up to the 3rd floor through the same kind of system. I imagine they just has like a magical elevator that goes between the 3 floors, but she can't possibly because look how the thing is shaped.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's a straight
Treble's
line down the
pain
middle.
brings me such joy.
I'm physically hurt by that one. I gotta help.
2 mechanical gnomes are using rags to polish a 10-foot-long copper telescope in the center of the 3rd floor chamber. Dozens of star maps lay across tables that are also littered with sketches of planets and otherworldly landscapes. And here is my observatory, remarks Topola proudly. I acquired my autognomes from the same fellow who sold me the telescope, which allows me to spy on all the worlds in this system and gaze at stars in other systems as well.
How many worlds are there? Lukari is gonna walk over and look through the telescope.
You can't yet, because I haven't finished reading the description. Topola walks across the room and touches a wall, whereupon a tall opening appears in front of the telescope. Then she turns to Lukari. Would you care to have a look? And now you can look through the telescope.
Okay. Now Lukari will look through the telescope.
It's currently looking back. Before you do, she introduces the 2 autognomes in here as Orwick 5 and Orwick 7.
Pleasure.
So she has dozens of star maps all over the walls. And Lukari, as you peer through the telescope, she steps in and kind of shows you how it works. I mean, she doesn't have to. It's a telescope. You figured it out, but she's very proud of how it works.
Which of these little lights is Xaryxis?
Well, right now, when you look through it,
Yeah.
it's pointed at your homeworld. And you see...
Is it obviously our homeworld, given that Lukari's never seen it from the sky?
I would assume it's obvious because it says in the book that you learn that without any check.
Okay.
Like, because you all came from the small idyllic fishing village of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't realize we had orbital pictures of the planet.
Well,
looking through the telescope, and I mean, you saw it as you were fleeing from it as well. Like, you saw it from space. But looking through the telescope now, you can see crystalline vines engulfing the entire world.
Don't like
Sarge,
that.
what do you make of this? Need an assessment.
Who are you asking?
Sarge.
Sarge will look through it and go, that's not good. And that's all.
Doctor, we need a second opinion.
Well, Topola's interest in the situation is that she's never seen a phenomenon like this before. And she's just been kind of cataloging the changes in this particular planet over the past couple of days.
It's not natural. It was induced by the Xaryxis, the Empire Xaryxis. We're from that planet.
This is not the first. What do you mean you've never seen this before? We were told this has been happening frequently.
So, as to that, because Crux is going around the perimeter of the room looking at the star maps and things, because her telescope can only see planets within your system. So she can't actually see off into Doom space, which is where Xaryxis, or Xaryxis space, which is its own system. She can only see light from their faraway stars. So yeah, nothing like this has ever happened to a planet in this system before.
Do you have a journal or catalog of observations?
What we're seeing, I think, is a Type 6 apocalypse event.
She does have an extensive journal. It's written in a personal shorthand that you can't read, and she's happy to walk you through it. This is a woman who is extremely happy at the drop of a hat to talk for hours and hours and hours about things that interest her, and she is completely oblivious to the fact that they don't interest anyone else. So when you ask her about her journal, like, she painstakingly takes you through all of her observations, but there's nothing there that you don't already know. She's been observing from afar, where you guys were right there, and you've heard explanations of what has happened.
Well, I guess my intent was to try and get an idea of like how fast this is progressing and to gauge how much time we have.
She noticed
if that's possible.
Yeah, she noticed it just a couple of days ago. So over the course of 4 or 5 days. You guys, so when she saw the planet, it was already engulfed. Because you guys had spent the last 3 days riding this Kandori across wild space.
So about that map to Doom space.
She thinks about it for a moment. She says, "A void scaver has started prowling around my tower. I call her Big Mama because she's enormous. I'm surprised you didn't come across her, but then she can be hard to see except for her single red eye. I'll give you my wild space orrery if you slay Big Mama for me."
Is that the map to Doom space?
Wild space orrery is a portable arcane device that tracks the positions and movements of all suns, planets, moons, and comets within a system, projecting a display of all these bodies in the space above its current location.
Sure.
Definitely help to navigate.
I suppose it can't be that difficult.
She says that you have to be in wild space to use it. It would not function if you were, for example, on the surface of your planet. To get to another system, you first enter the Astral Sea, which is the space kind of in between systems. And then once you reach your destination, the orrery will catalog everything within that system and show you the map. So it's literally just an RPG mini-map that you can open up now.
Oh, it's a Sheikah
Okay.
Tower. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, you climb to the top of the Sheikah Tower, but you have to actually get to a system before you get the layout. So right now she's using it to map the system you guys are in, but it can map any system as long as you take it there.
All right.
Do you need this back at some point?
She and Crux are old friends, and as long as you can make good your promise to extinguish this Big Mama that she needs taken care of, she's happy to make a gift of it to you.
Very well. All right.
So be it.
Sarge turns around and salutes the Commodore and says, "Let's get to work."
Anything else you guys want to accomplish here in Topola's Tower before getting back in the jolly boat?
Not unless dinner is being served, because it smells way better than rations.
Oh, dinner's being served. If you're down for deep fried night scaver steak and a lunar bechamel.
No.
Yes, Lunar Lukari would like to try that.
Yeah, absolutely. She will. I mean, it's a cramped space because it's a living space for one. But yeah, she manages to. She has some of the Autognomes like bring out like a picnic blanket out onto her asteroid, and everybody can sit around it, and they come out and they serve dinner.
Is it like are we talking like a 6 o'clock dinner or a 4 p.m. dinner?
You're in outer space.
so Lukari hasn't eaten on time and he's grumpy.
Sleep schedules are completely arbitrary.
If Lukari doesn't get his midday nap and go to bed at 6:30 p.m., he's just grumpy all day the next day.
He has never ever achieved this goal.
So which of you wants to take the orrery that she's giving you?
How do you do navigation? Like, is it a check?
With the orrery, there is no check. It's just a thing that you
Okay.
carry around with you.
I have
Lukari has navigators.
Anybody can
tools,
take
but-
it. Yeah.
I say, and then I like very quickly just do like you just hear Mousse under his breath go eeny meeny miny mo, and she points at
Not take the
Milos.
thing.
Milos, you are the best person for it. Give it to Milos.
Not please take it before Milos gets us lost.
Sure, I can take it.
All right. So you take the wild space orrery. It doesn't physically describe what it is or what it looks like. It's just this like handheld thing that when you activate it, it shows you a 3D representation of the system you're in.
Well, an orrery is a
It's a little planet model.
it's a
Yeah.
planet model.
Yeah.
But
So
it's like a holographic one. But there must be some physical device that you're carrying. Like I'm not sure. Like I'm picturing like a compass that you open up and then it
Yeah.
displays it. That's
That's
how I
probably-
picture it.
picturing.
That's
It's
probably
an
what it
iPad.
is, because most orreries are just gears in a circular pattern anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's probably something like a compass, and there's gears, and then
Okay.
I learned a new word today. I had no idea this was called an orrery.
And then I've got a whole paragraph here for what happens if Crux and the characters no longer have a ship. Yeah, Topola thanks Crux for coming to visit, and thanks, like she was happy to host and to serve you all dinner. And as you guys are getting back into the jolly boat, she waves and good luck saving your world from annihilation.
Well, we got to kill Big Mama first, right? You want us to kill her or drive her off or what?
Well, she wants Big Mama killed, but she trusts the Commodore, and he vouches for all of you. Even if any of you were like evil bastards, he would still vouch for you. That's just the kind of guy.
That's just how he is.
So he's giving you the order. You don't have to like come back and turn the quest in or anything. Just take care of Big Mama as you go out. The trick is going to be finding her. The idea is Crux is let's get back aboard the second wind. We can move the second wind faster than we can move this jolly boat. And we'll just search the area. We know that you're looking for a big gleaming red eye.
Okay.
On that note.
Oh, right. That we've our I assume our spell jamming helm is still fritzied.
Kaput.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a wisdom perception check, each of you. DC is 21.
That is
I
a
will make that.
Can I make that?
Make that
no, I
if
can't.
roll
Oh, 19.
Oh. Lukari got a 23.
23. Did anybody else cheat? I mean, pass?
no.
Nope.
No.
I got an
Alright.
18.
I've got good news and bad news. And then more bad news.
Okay.
The good news is you don't actually have to go on this like painstaking, exhaustive adventure trying to search out this creature. Because the bad news is it finds you aboard your jolly boat.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
When you're
that's
about
distressing.
halfway there. And the further bad news is if you didn't pass that perception check, you are surprised.
Well, I guess we'll just roll initiative then.
I'll wait for the table to load.
You know, I recall.
Wow, how does this
Oh.
surprise you? It's so big.
As the jolly boat approaches the second wind, an enormous jet black behemoth glides out of the darkness and cosmic dust, its red eye glowing brightly as its jaws open wide. Long, stringy strands of saliva break off into weightless globs as the ravenous monster descends from above.
So we failed the check. We're surprised.
Yep, so everybody's surprised except Lukari. Go ahead and...
I gotta roll it.
we don't need a battle mat for this battle because you're all just in this little jolly
Oh,
bolt.
come on.
Here is Crux. If somebody would place Crux on 6 for me, please.
He's yellow.
He's yellow. And...
Well, I guess he'll go on 5.
Ooh, okay. All right, who's at the top of my order?
First up, we've got Mousse with Crux on deck.
Actually, before we get
Or the
into
black
this,
token on deck.
before we get into this combat, I'm going to take a short break. I don't know if you guys can hear the new puppy out there whining.
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
But I can hear him. I'm going to go see if he needs anything. What he'll do is he's got his little food bowls, but he'll spill them everywhere, and then he'll be like, "Now I don't have anything to eat," and he gets upset.
I have cats that do that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fortunately puppies grow out of it. I don't know that cats ever do. So I'm going to take
No,
2
they
minutes. I'm going to go see what's going on with the puppy. I'll be right back.
No, cats realize what they're doing and they do it just to piss you off.
For attention.
I'll just put
Cats. So what do we got here? It's obviously a Giff and
Yeah, it's the Commodore.
a human, maybe, and then that's a Thrakeen, right? It has to be a Thrakeen. No, they've only got
Looks
one
like a
set of
rat man.
arms. Thrakeen have 2 sets of arms, don't they?
Yeah, that's like a rat guy with a bow.
That's
I
a
don't know,
great picture, though.
Yeah.
Very nice picture.
The art in this is spectacular.
I'm really looking forward to the art in the new Planescape book.
Yeah, that should be good.
It's not going to be like the grunge like kids doing skateboarding out in the middle of, freaking crazy space. So that was the art style in the old Planescape art.
Man, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Sarge needs a musket.
Because they released some art. Somebody released like one picture from the upcoming play. It's just a picture of Lady of Pain, and then we had the discussion about how the Lady of Pain and like the only official art of the Lady of Pain in 3rd edition
Mhm.
was her with a boob window.
Ugh.
Boob window.
Why are we
Yeah.
sexualizing the Lady of Pain? Like,
And also, she's not wearing a mask. It's just her face, and she has a boob. window.
what?
It was like art from like the Dragon magazine, but it was like the only official art for her in 3rd edition.
I feel like they were way off the mark with that.
I mean, boob window was definitely the tone of 3rd edition. So,
That's fair.
I think the idea behind this being sneak up on you is it's black on black.
I actually have a hard time envisioning what color space is, because here it looks very vivid. But when I'm imagining it in my theater of the mind, it is just black.
It is. I mean, there's lots of little dots of light.
Yeah.
Unless you get close. If you get close to a star, then it's not black. Unless you look away from the star, then it is.
I like that the ship is still carving like water out, even though we're going through astral space.
Yeah.
Maybe all of Spelljammer just exists inside like a giant nebula, and that's why it's all colorful.
What do the ores do?
They let you move at 35 feet per round or something. I don't know.
How?
It pushes-
Vigorous
it pushes
rowing.
Yes.
How?
we're in a nebula and we're pushing them against the gas, which
Treble.
is exerting a force and causing us
Treble.
to
Treble. 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 Treble.
I know it doesn't make sense, and
So it-
Spelljammer
it's
does
the
not
same way.
science.
that's the joke, McDohl.
I was actually envisioning that,
Alright.
like, instead of being empty space, it was like a fluid.
It's
It is a
nebula.
fluid in 2E. It's not in 5E. It's like
Oh.
it's like a semi fluid called phlogiston, I think, in 2E.
Yeah, Phlogiston.
No, that's not a thing.
Everybody,
Yeah,
everybody,
that's the thing.
everybody laugh at the glasses noob over here because I forgot I was wearing them, and when I went to take my headphones off, I'd like scrape them across my face and poke myself in the eye.
Welcome to glasses.
Oh.
Well, you won't need glass. Hey, think of it this way: if you poke yourself in the eye hard enough, you won't need glasses anymore.
Let's get a cool monocle. Yeah, Prompto had
An eye patch.
tipped his food over, and it was everywhere, and he was upset.
Oh, you named him Prompto. Oh, that's so adorable.
So we had like 3 name finalists because we knew we needed to get a boy puppy, because if you have 2 dogs, you're supposed to have different genders. I don't know why. That's just what everybody says. So we were gonna get a boy puppy.
That's bullshit.
Listen, I don't know anything about dogs. I just know that if you have 2, you're supposed. Anyway, we had it narrowed down to 3 names: Prompto, Barrett, or Cecil, and decided against Barrett because we don't want to be the white people that buy a dark brown dog and then name it after the only black character. That's
That is a little weird. Yeah.
we,
That is a little gross, yeah.
that's
Also, a Chihuahua is not really a Barrett. Like a Rottweiler, you would name Barrett.
I could absolutely see Prompto as a Chihuahua, yes.
and then Cecil, I think, is just a great name for any dog.
No, yeah.
But emotionally, I feel like Peanut and I have to just retire that cast from consideration after Rydia.
Yeah. that's
So
fair.
we now have Edgar, Lulu, and Prompto.
Can I just comment that Prompto spilling his food all over and then complaining about it is a very in-character thing?
Yeah, he's definitely has a like Prompto just has a Chihuahua personality. He's just like a
Yeah.
yappy little guy.
He's extremely helpless. Like, oh no, I've ruined everything. Please, I need an adult.
Oh, hey there, opening.
How could I ever talk to the cute girl I like? All right. Sorry about that. Dog is taken care of. I mean, he's not. He's still whining, but I gave him a spoon of his little Nutrical. You guys ever use this stuff? It's basically just this tube of like pure corn syrup that you give puppies to like pack on calories.
Oh yeah, I had to give my cat that when she was very skinny.
So we were giving that to Prompto. Lulu is super jealous because she wants it. But she's getting fat, so like it's
Yeah.
not for you, Lulu. You're not a puppy no more. Anyway, this thing surprised you somehow.
Surprise! It's hideous.
Now,
Simon.
you guys are all in a jolly boat, which means you're a sitting duck for this thing. I don't know how you're going to kill this thing, but okay.
Is it gonna eat me?
As an action, there's a pair of oars aboard the jolly boat. As an action, you can row the jolly boat 10 feet horizontally in any direction along the gravity plane shared by Topola's asteroid and the second wind. You're equidistant. You're about 50 feet away from each. Yeah, or who's at the top of my order?
Top of the order is Mousse with black token on deck.
Mousse is surprised. Okay, then I'm going to... Sarge and Crux are the biggest meals here.
Okay, I can hear Prompto now.
Yeah,
I
he's
did hear him. Poor guy.
Poor kid.
it's like, you just fed me, how dare you? We're just going to have to ignore it.
Well, I would argue that okay, so like this is a weird argument, but like yeah, they're the biggest meals, but I feel like I'm the one that looks closest to dessert.
You're
Well,
a
you
giant
have
mass. You're a
you
giant
don't eat
blob of
dessert
corn syrup.
first. That's how you get a stomach ache.
You eat the hippo first, then you have.
Yeah, then you have your mousse. Actually, I guess first would be the appetizer. Who's the smallest besides us?
I have a 16 to hit Commodore Crux, who is a larger, smaller creature. So yeah, the thing dives towards your jolly boat, clamps down as Crux is just. He's literally in the middle of explaining how you're going to go about finding this thing once you get back aboard the second wind. And he just barely has time to get his hands around his musket before the thing just grabs him up in its jaws and swallows him whole.
So this exact
no.
scene. This exact scene.
Yeah, this is what's
Oh, no.
happening. I thought about just doing that to Sarge instead, but...
He'd be okay. Actually, a 16 wouldn't hit him.
Oh.
So I wish you had.
So yeah, that's the creature. Now I'm going to target Sarge. I need you to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 16, please.
Okay. Oh, I have a 9.
The eye of this thing at the front of its tentacle stalk moves into Sarge's direction and glares at him. And you are frightened of the scaver until the start of its next turn, which I don't think is going to matter because I think you're surprised anyway.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep eating you until there's none of you left. Who's next?
Next up, we've got me. I'm surprised. Then we've got Lukari, who I believe was the only person not surprised.
Lukari is not surprised.
Yep. Give him back.
He doesn't.
Well, then he's gonna get smacked.
Okay.
We'll see how well this works.
Okay.
Alright, so for a bonus action, we are going to, let me see which one this is. Yeah, we'll do a Hexblade's Curse on it.
I know that I've run D&D before when Lulu was a puppy. She never cried like this. She was never this needy.
Well, Prompt is new to the world. Like, this could literally be the worst thing that has ever happened to him.
Lulu was new to the world when we got her.
True.
And they had just cut her tail off. Like, she was still dealing with physical trauma.
Oh, that's.
Oh, why did they cut her tail off?
That's just what they
Cropping
do to that,
tails is a thing.
that breed of dog. We didn't know that because we bought her. We only had seen pictures and video, and they didn't show us the back part of the dog, so we didn't know until the puppy was delivered to the house that they had cropped her tail.
That's...
I mean, it's cute,
That's messed up.
her little butt thumb, but like, it's not a practice that I explained to everybody that comes to the house, like, it's not a practice that we agree with. We didn't have a choice.
No, that's fair. Not your fault.
Does a 23 hit?
23 does hit.
This is with a booming blade, so... Yeah, I guess we're gonna use the spell slot for Smite too.
Okay.
Right,
Lukari does not
operation-
appreciate that his friend got eaten.
Kari is in on Operation Zero Chill.
So Crux is Lukari's friend, then.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody is Lukari's friend until they get on his grass.
Until they step onto his lawn.
Thing if there's no grass in space.
Literally, there was grass in Topola's tower, and she's in space.
So that is going to be 27 points of damage.
Okay, gives me a nice round number to work with on my end. That's with Booming Blade.
That's with booming blade
Does that have
and smite.
any other effects or just damage?
So if the creature moves, it will take another 2d8 points of damage.
Oh, it's not going to move. It's just going to eat you. Unless you move your jolly boat.
Oh, sorry, it's also 3 more, so it was at 30 points of damage. 30 points.
30
Just like
points.
curse.
Okay. And I'd ask if you're moving or staying put, but if you're moving, you're literally bailing out of the jolly boat, and the thing gets an attack of opportunity on you. So, is it safe to assume that nobody's going to be abandoning the jolly boat?
Somebody needs to move the jelly boat.
Does moving attack provoke an attack of opportunity on the boat?
Yeah, if you move the boat out of its threat range, it would get an attack of opportunity on somebody in the boat.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does the strike make him cough up grunts?
No, you got to do a lot more damage than that.
Sad face. He tried.
Actually, you've got to do damage from inside the creature to get it to regurgitate. I think that's true for all swallowing creatures. We'd have to ask Solitaire. He would know for sure. All right, so who's next?
I don't get it.
Next up, we've got. Let's see. Where was that? That was.
We're on 6 now.
Surprised. Surprised is is Commodore surprised?
Crux is surprised and swallowed.
Surprised, and then we're back at Mousse, who is no longer surprised.
All right, you all know what's coming. That
Coming,
awful screech, high pitched screech, and we are going to.
I imagine it's more of a warp, like a.
Is it a Zoidberg?
Oh man, yeah. Do you make the Zoidberg sound?
Anyway, first hit.
He
It's a
didn't
natural
deny
1.
it.
Second hit is a. What is my hit modifier?
Black.
+6. 22 to hit.
22 will hit. I'm also putting an orange marker down here at 0.
Huh.
Why not?
Did that need to have gone this turn?
No, it would have been surprised.
All right, that is 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
I imagine this is good at those.
I've got a 19.
Okay, he passes. But he also takes an additional.
This thing's only huge. It's not gargantuan, so it's not quite as big as the whales that brought you here.
9. So that was 6 plus 9. So this would be 9 additional necrotic damage.
Okay.
Okay, flurry of blows. Does a 16 hit?
16 does hit.
Okay. Please take 6 more bludgeoning damage. I need another Constitution saving throw, please.
24.
Okay. Does a 22 hit
22 does hit.
for an additional 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And I need a Constitution saving throw.
21.
All right.
Are you
I tried.
Are you trying to...
Treble, how many key points did you use? Because this isn't 0 chill. That's like negative chill.
Are you trying to stun my scaver? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah. So that was 1 stun, 2 stun, 3 stuns. I have 1 key point left.
Moving or
That's-
staying put?
Well, we were loading on the start.
I'm going to use all my move to do a tap dance in my single spot, I guess.
Okay.
We're on a boat. We're on a jolly boat. There's nowhere to move.
You
So you're
can,
gonna
well,
jolly?
to be clear, you can abandon the jolly boat and kind of drift out of its
I'm
threat
fine.
range. Okay.
Fine.
Who's next?
Got a black token.
All right. Now let's see if we can swallow...
I mean, I just punched the hell out of it.
Oh, I can't swallow somebody else until he digests. So why does it want to... Why would it sit here and fight all of you then? Why wouldn't it just eat somebody and leave?
He's a very hungry boy.
If this was my adventure, it would just eat one of you and then leave because it can't eat 2 of you at once. It doesn't want to sit here and get punched. So, but no, the adventure says it's just going to hang out, basically.
Well,
Is that
if
what
it kills us, if it bites us to death, it can eat us later.
Oh, it can
How
still
much
bite. It
longer?
can still bite you. I don't see what incentive this monster has to bite anybody else. Like, why bother?
It's
It's
malicious.
a wild animal.
It's unaligned. It's not malicious.
It has rabies. It's just attacking things.
I mean, we did just attack it, so it's probably defending itself now.
It's so much faster than you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sarge, I have a 17 to hit.
Oh, you know my AC now.
And
Because I told it to you.
I do not own enough dice for this.
Oh,
roll.
I love to hear that.
That's something that you don't want the DM to say.
Okay.
Fortunately, I have a lot of hit points.
28 points of piercing damage.
That's not even half of them. So
from the thing's bite.
well, don't do that too many more
Now,
times.
at this point, if it had not already swallowed Crux, you would make a saving throw or be swallowed by the creature.
I feel like it's safer in there. I'm getting bit for 28.
If you're in, Crux is taking 2d10 acid damage at the start of each of its turns. Crux is not.
Yeah, but he's not getting bitten each turn. I might get bitten again.
So yeah, the creature is gonna try to kill all of you. Who's next?
It's ambitious.
Oh, let me apply some damage to Crux. Crux is not doing well. Okay, who's next?
I'm up. So let's see here. I am going to cast a Twinned Haste on. Let's go with Crux is inside the thing. I don't have line of sight to him.
Correct.
All right, so let's go with Mousse and let's go with, I guess, Milo.
Mousse and Milo.
Oh, wait, Crux or Sarge is inside the thing?
Crux is inside the thing. Sarge is still on the jolly boat.
Oh, let's get Sarge then.
Okay.
Let's do Mousse and Sarge.
I think actually that Mr. Jedi Lock is a little better than me.
He casts cantrips.
You can't. Oh, okay. I didn't realize you couldn't cast
It is an attack action, not a cast a spell action.
Is that it for
So
Naught?
that takes. Let me mark off my spell slot.
Gotcha.
So that takes 3 sorcery points, and then for another sorcery point, let's do a quickened. What was that last? I'm gonna do a quickened firebolt.
Okay.
Good old scale. That'll hit an armor class of 13.
13 will not hit.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Who's next?
Got Lukari with Milo.
So nobody, now that we've gone through a full round of turns, nobody's interested in moving the jolly boat. You guys are going to make your stand here and kill the thing. That's what we've decided?
Well, we're Team 0.
I haven't had a
Team Zero chill.
I haven't had a turn yet, so.
Oh, you were
Dark emoji.
surprised. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe Milos will take care of it. All right, Lukari.
Milos the voice of reason.
Lukari is stubborn, so obviously he's going to stand his ground.
Okay. Well, stand your jolly boat. You're not really on ground at the moment.
Well, you know.
Just looking at this artwork, like, has any like adventuring team ever been more screwed? Because
Right?
in the scene, you guys are only 50 feet away from like solid ground on either side, but you can't see that in the artwork. They're just adrift in space somewhere.
So we will Booming Blade.
Okay.
Does a 19 hit?
19 does it.
Wow, those are big numbers right there.
Oh,
That's going to
excuse me.
be 10 points of damage.
10 points of fire damage.
So I guess it would be 6 points of magic slashing damage, 1 point of thunder damage, and 3 points of curse damage.
Okay.
I think it's
For what
necrotic.
that's
isn't it?
worth.
Is that it from Lukari?
No, bonus action. He's going to need, and this is going to be silly, but a DC 15 strength saving throw as he tries to telekinetically shove the creature.
Can you shove a huge creature? I mean, he passes the save, no problem, but can you even shove a huge creature?
That's the player
You
who
can
had that
telekinetically
ability all
shove
last.
one creature you can see within 30 feet. Doesn't say anything about size restrictions.
Wow, that's strong telekinesis. All right. No, he passes this. I mean, I guess that's represented in the saving throw, maybe. But he has
Yeah.
no difficulty passing the save.
And the fact that you can only push 5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Which
pushing
part of
a
5 feet?
gargantuan creature 5 feet isn't doing much.
Like, relatively, you're not even pushing it that far.
Yeah, it's 18 on the save. Lukari, moving or staying put?
I guess he's going to join Mousse in doing a jig. I don't know.
Okay, who's next?
Next up, we've got
Oh, he is going to yell back to the boat to shoot the damn thing.
Okay.
Milo with yellow on deck.
Monkey friend.
Give him Milos.
I'm pulling oars.
Okay. Doing that, you're going to leave the thing's threat range. It's going to get an attack of opportunity on somebody. You can move 10.
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
All right.
I think it's a good play. Yeah.
So you move in the boat. The boat has to be moved 5 times to get you guys back to the second wind. The question is, are you going to the second wind or are you going to Topola's Tower? You are
To the
equidistant.
second wind.
Okay. So you are now 40 feet away from the second wind. And I'm going to use the thing's reaction to try to bite Milos.
Oh no, he's the only one moving the ship.
Now, technically, if the creature was allowed to swallow somebody, and if Milos failed this save, the creature would swallow the oars too, because currently Milos is holding them.
Okay.
Let's not think about it too much.
Yeah. Milos, I have a 21 to hit.
Uh,
Are you going to pretend your AC is 21?
I can't. Yeah, no, I can't. I can't pretend that high.
Ooh, these much bigger rolls. $38 points of piercing damage from the thing's bite.
I'm going to uncanny dodge that.
Okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
Should make that 19 damage. So no. Milos is still bloodied from that though.
This is where the word uncanny is pulling a lot of weight because there's literally no room for you to dodge anything. Yeah,
I'm kind of impressed. Oh, sorry.
much nicer damage roll against Milos.
I'm kind of impressed it has the finesse to only bite one of us at a time.
So
Given how cramped in we are.
usually monsters, like it would describe in the monster's stat block that it can, like, it's like a siege monster. It can deal damage to structures. This one doesn't, and I don't know why, because this is exactly the situation where the monster would like try to attack the boat, right? And try to damage and destroy the boat, and then it can pick you off at its leisure. But it doesn't say anything about that in the stat block. This is it's not a siege monster. It can't damage structures. So I'm running it by the book. But yeah, you're right. This is a case where if this was my adventure, I would definitely have it destroy the boat and then worry about the rest of you. You're now 10 feet away from the creature. Who's next?
Now I can't attack the creature.
It'll get closer.
It will.
Who
on its
is
turn.
next?
Right, but that's after my turn.
You can leave the boat and go towards it.
Sorry, who is next? That was that the
That was Milos.
That was Milos.
Milos? We got Commodore and then Sarge.
Commodore from inside. Oh, he's rolling at disadvantage because he's blind. Nothing. And then Sarge.
All right. I mean, if I was given haste, I'm gonna shoot something. 20. Not dirty 20. I have 20 to hit.
20 hits.
Okay. We're gonna mark this because duh. 16 piercing.
Okay. And the thing is bloodied.
And I shoot it again. 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
I only get to roll this one this time. 13 piercing.
Okay.
And then the hasted attack.
Are we still doing max damage explodes on guns?
Isn't that just the rule?
No.
Wait, I reroll 10s? No. No exploding dice, right? Okay,
I
I have a
was-
22 to hit.
Oh, I
That
did
was
that. I did that in one
Yeah.
campaign a long time ago, yeah. But no, it's not a rule in Spelljammer.
Only 4 piercing damage on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I fill it full of holes. I'm certainly not going to move.
Stay put in the jolly boat. Who's next?
Yep.
Next up, we've got Orange Token on 0.
Okay. Prompto has defeated my noise-canceling headphones. My goodness. That's not... Okay, that's good. That's good.
He's defeating your noise gates too.
Where's my arrow? There it is.
A ballista bolt comes flying from the second wind, pierces the thing in the side. Looking over, you can see Mr. Flinch and Fell working the ballista together.
Yay!
That was my reasoning for going there in the first place.
All right, that was orange. Who's next?
Next up, we've got Mousse with creature on deck.
Mousse.
All right. I am going to jump at the creature.
Okay. So you kick off from the jolly boat to close the distance. And we'll do a dramatic slow-mo. Well, you don't have, like, fists or muscles.
Does a 17 hit?
Yeah, sure does.
It's 5 points.
Okay.
Second hit is a 23.
Also hits.
Okay. That is 9 points.
Okay.
Okay. Third hit from haste is a 15.
A 15 does hit.
Please enjoy 8 more points of damage.
Will do.
Last key point. Flurry of blows.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not going to hit. That's like a 8.
8 does not hit.
And then a 20.
20 will hit.
Or 8 more points of damage.
Now, the thing doesn't have a reaction at the moment, so if you want to kick back off of it and get back to the jolly boat, you have that option. It won't have a chance to opportunity.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like a great idea.
You're
Well,
welcome.
I'll just bounce back.
Good tactics.
That's the flubber kick you just pulled off there.
Like it's kind of like a spinning bird kick. It's a spinning flub kick.
Yeah, this is definitely a hold back for 2 seconds kind of move. All right, so Mousse lands back on the jolly boat. Who's next?
Creature with me.
Creature. Going to move up into range of the jolly boat and try to attack Mousse. Because Mousse is the most delicious now.
What has Moose done to this creature?
It's time for
Nothing.
dessert.
You just flubber kicked him. Mousse, I've got a 25 to hit.
Roll that again and take the worst roll, casting Silvery Barbs.
I've got a 21 to hit.
I tried.
Yeah, okay.
That's big boy rolls.
All right. 45 hit points.
Not anymore.
How much do you do? Yeah.
58
damage?
points of piercing damage.
All right.
Wow.
So
That's
you-
Sarge's max HP.
You had what, 45?
Yeah.
So you would have to take 90 damage to die from system shock.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't that much at least. About 58 points as you flubber kick away and land back down on the jolly boat. The thing brings its jaws down on top of you.
I am now a puddle.
Blue.
You're gonna have to clean them up with a mop.
Have to knock out Fusaya in order to clean him up.
Oh, let me see if my. All right, it's
I
going
might have
to.
been watching the FF4 Pixel Remaster GDQ run before this session.
I need Lukari to make me a Wisdom saving throw, please.
Uh-oh. Wow, that's a big boy roll right there.
How'd you do?
Well, I get a +5 to it, so a 7.
A 7. Turns its glaring red eye towards you, and you are frightened of the creature until the start of its next turn.
It took thunder damage when it moved.
Oh, how much?
Yeah,
how much thunder
move. That's
damage?
2d8 thunder damage.
Oh, that might kill it. You might avoid being afraid of it.
Ooh.
That'd be 13.
Not quite.
No.
So you,
Oh.
you're still afraid of it. Who's next?
I'm,
You're
and
welcome
I'm,
for
s-
that 13
I'm-
damage.
I'm still eating.
I'm up, so I'm going to go ahead and cast a Quicken. Do I have the slots for that, actually? I'm going to go ahead and cast a 3rd level aid, increasing maximum hit points of myself, Mousse, and Lukari. by 10. So that also heals you for 10.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Those are current hit points as well.
And then I will throw out a sorcery point and do another quicken firebolt.
Can you be the guy right here?
It's an armor class of 25.
That'll do it.
It's intense. Dealing 12 fire damage.
And the musculature of the scaver begins to convulse as Naught deals the killing blow. And there is a crash that rocks the jolly boat as Commodore Crux, now partially digested, is regurgitated. Breathing weakly, still clutching his musket, smoking from being recently fired inside the beast. He missed somehow.
He somehow missed, right?
Yeah. And then there's a second, smaller regurgitation. And this horrific, lumpy object floats out after him within the reach of the jolly boat. But Big Mama moves no more.
Is it a heart container?
It's
I
not.
was
Trying
gonna
to
say,
get it.
How badly wounded is the... Oh, I'm sorry.
Milos, you were going to reach out and snag it?
yeah.
You reach out and grab a partially digested dwarf
Oh, I'm sorry.
wearing a fish suit.
Does he need a horror check for that?
Fish suit is a bulky suit that encases your head and body. It takes a minute to get pulled on or off. Doesn't require attunement. While worn, it enables you to breathe in an airless environment and renders you immune to the harmful effects of any gas that surrounds you. It also grants you swimming and flying speed equal to your walking speed in an environment with no gravity. So it's the Bioshock suit.
Oh, I
So
saw
wait.
this,
If it's a partially digested dwarf wearing that suit,
Yeah.
is the suit usable?
Oh yeah, it's usable.
How did the dwarf get digested?
I mean,
Wait,
Stop
died of
asking
old age.
questions.
I don't
Stop
know.
asking questions.
How did the thing swallow Crux when it already had swallowed a dwarf?
Thinking emoji.
Science does not work in Spelljammer. So you guys limp the jolly boat back over to the second wind, having now dealt with Big Mama.
Who's wounded? I'm going to start passing around cure wounds. Starting with the Commodore, because
I'm
Hey,
conscious.
Mousse?
rank.
Moose
looks
is a
pretty
puddle.
No, you have 10 hit points, don't you?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Actually, I will start with you because you have the lowest by far.
It's either me or Milos. I don't know how
And
close
I-
Milos got.
I have quite a few spells, so I'm going to start with.
Milos got pretty hard, but
Let's see here. So
Would that have knocked you out?
that one, oh yeah, that would have put me on the ground.
I got Moose with a couple of 12s. It's 6d12 damage on that bite.
wow, Mousse recovers 7, and then Milos recovers 8.
I only keep 3d12 in my dice bag. Which,
gotta
let's
get
be
you more
honest,
D12s.
is 2 more. Oh, I own more. Don't worry. I own probably 30 d12s. But I just keep a carefully curated collection in my D&D dice bag. And now I have a
Somebody uses
second
12s.
dice bag of just those like barrel crystal shaped D10s to use with Vampire that we're playing now.
Because he is obligated by rank, the Commodore heals 8.
Okay. Yeah, you guys get back to the second wind. Mr. Flinch and Fell run over to help pull the jolly boat aboard. They look initially concerned, but then Flinch, of course, delighted that there were no casualties. He calls up, "Did you see that shot, Commodore?" Crux reaches down, pats him on the back. "Well done, Mr. Flinch." And then
Whisper he didn't see the shot he was eating.
Well, he might have seen it. It might have pierced right in front of him,
it came right through.
which is why he missed.
I rolled to see if the Treant could be persuaded to throw mangonel stones, but Treant just don't
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, did not see any reason to do that. After the incident with Big Mama, you see someone else approaching your ship. Topola is flying towards the second wind under her own power, just because she's a wizard. And she lands gently down on the deck. And even though half of you are eaten, covered in bite marks, the Crux is covered, she gives no indication whatsoever that she notices any of these pains. Nor does she seem particularly grateful.
That checks out.
That's fine.
She's just a space case. But after all that, she just flies over to the ship.
We did make a trade, so it's fair.
Yeah. She says, it occurred to me after you left. She gives no indication that she even saw the battle, really. It occurred to me after you left, I might know somebody that can help you on your quest to save your world from annihilation. I don't know how useful he could be, but his name is Grimzod Garganhale. He's a pirate. He's fought many, many battles against Astral elves. I'm not sure if it's the Xaryxians in particular, but he has a small fleet of ships nearby, and he does owe me a favor.
Where are these ships located?
She would tell you, but Milos has her orrery.
How do you know her? Know this person?
We had she kind of gives a dismissive wave with her hand. A tryst that never amounted to much of anything. It ended in a peaceful breakup.
So,
Well,
Mousse.
uh-huh.
Give me an insight check.
Sure. Get. Uh, 10. We can't roll for worth anything.
10? Okay. Yeah, she offers to help lead the second wind to where Garganhale's fleet currently is.
wherever it is currently, it's going to take some time unless you can get our spelljamming helm up to working order again.
Oh, what's the problem with your spelljamming helm?
Jellyfish broke it.
Yeah, that'll happen, when you get jellyfish. Yeah, it will take some amount of time for the spelljamming helm to come back online. There's not anything you guys can really do to repair it. You just have to wait until the effect wears off.
Did you roll to see how long it was down?
No, because in the end, it doesn't matter. It's just a mechanic to get you into this chapter of the adventure, and it really doesn't matter how long you're adrift. So the question is do you accept Topola's offer or not? She's offering to take you to the fleet of this pirate named Grimzod.
I mean, we don't
see
know
any
the way.
reason why we
Might
would
get it.
decline.
Okay.
Might get some insight into fighting these guys.
I love this line. If the characters prefer to continue without Topola, she lets out a wistful sigh and hangs her head in disappointment.
Oh, she's just annoyed with everything.
Topola is. This poor woman is lonely, is what's going on.
She didn't realize how lonely she was until she got visitors.
Oh.
She tells herself that her birds are good company, but birds are not good company.
What about the
It's gonna
Autognome?
suck for company, yeah.
So I'm not sure on the subject of autognomes, because sometimes they're described as like being individual and sentient, like Naught is, and
Yeah,
sometimes
like the Autognome slaves? That was my question.
Yeah, I'm concerned by that.
yeah, she just has like toy gnomes.
Well, they actually talk about in the books. They say that not all Autognomes are sentient. Like,
that has to be how it is, because they wouldn't just
Yeah.
have this space case bird lady be a literal slaver in the middle of the adventure.
Well, maybe they
Yeah.
would. Maybe she's that spacey.
So, like sometimes, either sometimes they gain a spark of sentience, or the creators like imbue it into them and send them off in the world as their children.
Which is kind of what happened with the Warforged too, isn't it? Like they were built just as being like mobile weapons platforms, and then they just came online at some point and gained sentience.
Well, yeah, like the Warforged were an accident, and my understanding of the Autognomes is they're not an accident.
Yeah.
It's like more of an intentional like side effect For the ones with sentience, like usually like the creator is the one that gave it to them. Like they imbue the spark of life in them as part of the creation process. But also like it's probably good financial sense to like sell like mass produced autognomes with dapper mustaches.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're so easy to make that you just like throw them on the table with other deals.
Right, you sell them like you throw them in with your freaking like the purchase of a telescope for some reason. I like it, like the gnomes have to cost more than the telescope. I know telescopes are like 1,000 GP and like a spyglass is like absurdly expensive. But come on, man.
You give them the autognomes for free, then you sell them the autognome oil.
Maybe you just mass produce them and you volume.
You guys are no longer in the tower, but because she's aboard your ship now, we'll just put Topola back on screen here.
That is really good art, though.
No,
Good art.
I don't think the only piece of 5e art I've actually looked at don't like is the one of Factal Rees. Just because I just don't like the way she looks now.
Like I said, it's got a very kind of like Ayane Kojima Castlevania kind of a look to her.
It's just Sypha, right? She's just Sypha?
Oh, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Although Sypha wasn't the one who used birds. Maria's the one who had the bird fetish.
I love the little kiwi on her head, the little dodo bird.
That's such a nice
The
touch.
book doesn't tell us what the kiwi's name is, but if you all want to name the kiwi,
His name's Kiwi.
just names her. She's the kind of person who would name her kiwi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe she grows kiwi fruits downstairs.
Do kiwi birds eat kiwi fruit?
So after X amount of time, your Spelljamming Helm comes back online. Topola goes ahead and attunes to it. Like at this point in the story, we've already forgotten that Fel might still be around. Like Fel's never mentioned again.
She's recovering still.
Fel makes it very clear to Crux, though, that even though she's going to not be the Spelljammer for this part of the voyage, like she still is going to be paid. Paid in full.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And yeah, you set sail for a far reach of the system where you will find Garganhale's fleet. However, go ahead and take the benefits of a long rest, 'cause this is some days later. It takes a couple days for your Spelljamming Helm to come back online, during which case I guess you guys are enjoying more lunar bechamel for dinner each night.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Moon
Oh,
cheese is
yeah.
the best.
that pun got me because that's like,
You gonna be okay?
Treble's in
No.
so much pain. I am here for it.
that pun got me. Like, I wasn't like, because I didn't get it at first, and then like you're like, come on, and then it hit me and physically hit me.
It's gonna be okay, man. We're all here for you. Yeah, after a few days, Spelljaming Helm comes back online. Topola attunes to it and takes you out to where she knows the fleet to be. But when you arrive, dead ahead, you see a cloud of debris that appears to be drifting wreckage of several ships. Crux shouts out, "To arms!" He peers through his spyglass, scans the debris field. So I count 3 flying fishes, 3 lampreys, 2 squid ships, and 2 star moths. Topola, standing next to him, adds that the space galleon, the last breath that Garganhale uses as his flagship, is not among the debris field. There's enough space between the wrecks of these vessels for the second wind to safely pass through the area, if you'd like to investigate, which is Crux's immediate thought. Does anybody want to persuade him otherwise?
I have no.
We know there's going to be pirates hiding under these ships, just like with the asteroids.
I mean, yeah.
But if there's any survivors,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives the order for Mr. Flinch to bring the second wind in close to the debris field. The first thing that comes into view as you get within 100 feet or so is a blood-red pirate flag drifting in space from one of the ships. Just becomes snagged on the second wind's ballista. Somebody has to wrangle up there and untangle it.
Yep.
This is your friend's flag.
It's the flag that he flies, yes. That's Garganhale's flag.
That's not a good sign.
But Topol is still very optimistic because she does not see the wreckage of his flagship. You do, however, next come across 2 human corpses drifting close into the second wind.
Oh,
What are humans doing out here?
Well, they amongst Garganhale's crew. They're dressed like pirates.
Bring
Guess
them on
we'll
board. Maybe see what. Maybe our resident doctor can figure out what killed them.
Okay.
Are there any giant holes in them? Are they missing body parts?
They've been in a battle recently.
I mean, I can tell from their like, they're probably dead, right?
Give me a medicine check, Mousse, as these things bump against the hull and you guys are fishing them forward with a net. Mousse, give me that medicine check.
Sure. That is a 21.
21. Yeah, both human corpses. I mean, they're very, very clearly dead, and they've recently been through a battle. You can see the battle wounds aboard them. Who's dragging them aboard?
Sarge will do it.
Sarge will do it?
Milos is helping him too.
Okay. Sergeant Milos, you drag the corpses aboard. They lay there, 2 human men, motionless for a moment. Then they begin to move.
Ah!
Dry rapier, very distressed.
Yeah, Crux is right next to you, Milos. He pulls out his gun. Says, "No use for abominations aboard the vessel."
Throw them back.
Roll initiative. Go ahead and call these guys green.
Oh, boo.
Actually, no, I've got black on here. I'll just keep using black.
Well, my initiative improved to 5.
Okay, who's at the top of my order this time? Oh, here, I guess I can get the... Probably won't need a battle mat for this, but we do have one. So you're aboard the main deck here. I didn't mean to kidnap Sarge.
Oh, that's fine.
So the 2 corpses that are beginning to move are laying prone and are currently restrained by this net. So they've got issues to deal with. So being restrained, they can't stand up until they cut themselves free of the net. Who's at the top of my order?
First up, we've got Mousse at 22.
Okay. Mousse.
Mousse is going to ask them if they're friendly first.
Ask them if they're friendly. They're moving, but they look out of it. They don't give any initial response. And they do, I mean, they look like they're dead. They've got wounds that, yeah, they're not in good shape.
Oh.
They're not in any shape to speak. Although, it looks like they're like waking up out of a groggy sleep, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, they haven't shown any. Why are we attacking them? I don't understand.
Crux,
Well, Sarge just shutted out their abominations.
yeah, Crux
But,
is
like
you
these
can't-
men
you cannot-
obviously need
Yeah.
medical attention, and I'm gonna walk over to them.
Okay. Crux scolds you, tells you cannot reason with the dead. But yeah, Moose, as you attempt to try to reason with the dead, it's like they're coming out of a groggy sleep.
Well, you know what? Moose's 2 modes are Gremlin mode and Do No Harm mode, and he's currently in Do No Harm mode. So.
Okay. Who's next?
Next up, we've got Milo with Lukari.
Yeah, I'm going to take the opportunity of them being in prone and restrained to hit them at advantage.
I'm going to put Crux on the order, but not Topola or Fell.
Does a 24 hit them?
Yeah, sure does.
I'm sorry, that's 25.
You hear a very disappointed gurgle.
13 points piercing damage.
Okay. I need Milos, Sarge, Lukari, and the other creature to make a Constitution saving throw. Oh, the other creature doesn't have to, actually.
That's
Well,
a
that's not
4.
very high.
4, you're
I
looking
have
for a
tw-
14.
I have 12.
Oh, that's an 11.
So, okay, all of you. 8 points of necrotic damage as
Gross.
Milos steps forward and puts an end to the creature, and it explodes into a cloud of ash. Milos, moving or staying put?
Milos coughs and backs away.
Okay, who's next?
Uncalled for.
Next up, we've got Lukari with Black Token.
Abominations of the Raven Queen. So since there's just one guy, if Lukari were to shove him away, he would leave the ship.
Yeah, if you shove him away with some inertia, he would eventually drift out of the ship's gravity plane and then just be adrift in wild space.
Okay, then he's gonna shove him away with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
That's at advantage, yes?
He's restrained. And prone.
Prone.
Well, range
Range-
attack on pro.
Range attack. Removes that. Also, you're within 5 feet.
Well, he'll move back first then.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wow, advantage is useless. Does a 15 hit?
15 does. Does it?
Okay, so the first beam is gonna hit.
Soldier soul for a D10.
All right. So the first beam is 8 points of force damage and pushes him back 10 feet.
Okay.
And the second beam,
Good news, he's no longer prone. He's not on a surface.
does a 20 hit?
20 will hit.
So the second beam is 2 points of force damage and pushes him back another 10 feet.
And yeah, like the force of that inertia, he will just continue to move in that direction until he manages to free himself somehow.
And then it would need a strength saving throw for a telekinetic shove for another 5 feet.
Okay, that's big fail. So yeah, you're pushing him away from the second wind.
Sarge, kill it!
We
Crux-
don't know they're hot.
Crux gets a turn before Sarge, and yeah, Crux is gonna
I'm last.
Crux is gonna step forward with his musket and finish it off, and you see it explode.
Doesn't Robot Boy get to go before Crux?
If you want to take the killing shot,
It's fine.
Naught can deal with the ballista. Not standing next to the tree, and he's like, dude, if there's anything you want to throw a rock at, it is clearly an undead abomination. No, Crux just steps forward with his musket, takes the shot, thing explodes. And you continue towards the wreckage of the ship.
Sarge will say, "Good shot, but was it worth a bullet?"
The next corpse that you find is that of an astral elf, wearing the what you've come to expect is the colors of the Xaryxian Empire. And as you're approaching it, you see a pack of scavers feeding upon the corpse. These are much, much smaller than the one you killed. Big Mama was an uncommonly huge scavers. These ones are much, much smaller. They're maybe the size of a large dog.
I mean, we're fine. We can let them eat.
So you're going
Do
to
we need the corpse?
give... It's up to you.
Like I'm asking everybody. I don't think we need the corpse.
Have we seen astral elves besides the crazy weirdo that this guy?
Yeah, Lukari.
Oh, okay, and besides Lukari, who's obviously one of the good ones.
Not
Oof.
since we left the.
Right.
Not since
You sure about that?
not,
The jury's still out, right? So if we've
Not-
seen
not-
an astral elf corpse, oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say not since the Rock of Brawl.
Yeah.
I mean, these could be Xaryxian like forces.
Yeah. I mean, we recognize the ships, right? You did say there was the Star Maws. That's the ships of
That's the ones they
Oh, the
fly,
jellyfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No, this-
unknown whether they were Xaryxian ships that have been destroyed here in a fight, or if they were, at one point, Astral Elf ships that have been commandeered by this pirate.
I mean, nobody
either way.
would do that, right? We were explicitly told how much of a bad idea that was, right?
You were told
Yeah.
that by Captain
Yes.
Sartell, but she has one pirate mindset. There's other kind of pirates out here in wild space. But the question is, if you're going to try to fish up this Astral Elf body, you're going to have to deal with these scavers. If you don't want to do that, you can just give them a wide berth, let the elf go back to nature in its own way.
Let's make a note of it and come back if it's literally the only astral elf.
Nature is healing. Leave them alone.
Okay. So you guys continue to just move through the debris field of the ship. You don't see any other signs of survivors or abominations, as the case may be. But a tiny ball of light appears over the bow of the ship, quickly flies around the mast, and settles a few feet above the main deck, changing colors as it hovers in place. In a soft voice, it says, "Lost, are we? Maybe I can be of assistance."
Oh God, it's Tinkerbell.
Well, Tinkerbell can't talk. She only makes little bell noises.
Is that well, it depends on what you're watching.
So I'll let
Is
somebody give me an Arcana check here.
I can try that.
Not it.
Oh, actually, I'm not trained in Arcana.
-1.
Damn. I got a +3.
0.
I guess I'll do
It is my dump stat.
You gotta dump something, right?
Yeah, I can't roll for crap. That's a 13.
A 13?
Yeah.
You recognize what the creature is, but you don't know much about its properties. The creature is a will-o-wisp.
I've got a good feeling about this. Yes, we're lost. Can you give us some directions?
It tells you that it was serving aboard Garganhale's fleet until recently. And says that Garganhale made the mistake of attacking a star moth, and ever since the Astral Elves have just been dogging his tail.
That's right. Okay.
He does, however, know that whenever Garganhale gets into a skirmish like this, and this one was a pretty big one, his survivors, including his galleon, have been scattered this way and that. But the Will-O-Wisp claims to know a rendezvous point where Garganhale would have gone for to await the other survivors to limp back.
You want to catch a ride with us?
You're asking the Will-O-Wisp?
Yeah.
Oh, certainly. That's very gracious of you, and you have my thanks.
I don't know, everybody. I've got a good feeling. What do you think?
Well, in light of the fact we have nothing else, sure.
Oh, we could try and insight it, but I don't know. This seems pretty plausible to me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll let somebody give me an insight check if you don't trust the Will-O-Wisp.
+6.
Don't
I
think
trust
I don't think I disbelieve
reasonable.
him,
We have
yeah.
Little weird thing that was like, how many other little weird things have we found out here?
Listen, so far, everybody we've talked to has been decent to us, and the only things that aren't trying to attack us off the start. And this thing hasn't posed a
Everything's
threat, so I
attacked.
think we can trust it.
Right for it.
If it talks to us, it's been good intention so far.
18.
18 on
Inside
an
of
insight
18.
check?
Yeah.
The Will-O-Wisp, it does seem to know, like, it knows where Garganhale is going. It knows where the rendezvous point is. And it also does seem to have some incentive on wanting to get back to the fleet. However, you just have a feeling that it's lying about serving aboard the ship.
I have a good feeling. Let's go.
Okay.
I tell none of that. I just Mousse is just like, I have a good feeling.
Okay. Everybody go
Let's
take the
make sure
benefits of a
Moose
long
is-
rest.
Yep.
After a day's travel, you are caught in a cosmic storm. Lightning flashes through dense blue and purple clouds, illuminating the silhouette of a galleon with torn, flapping sails. Ghastly mariners stand on deck and cling to the rigging, staring at you with unblinking eyes. The ship at this point, due to terrible low visibility, you realize you come right up on top of it. The last breath, the galleon that Garganhale has sailed here. You're within 50 feet of it, which is much closer than you would usually see a vessel. The galleon's captain steps into view, a pallid, white-haired man with a barred metal mask covering the lower half of his face. His left hand detaches at the wrist, skitters up his arm to his shoulders, and waves at you with its fingers. Crux sneers at the sight, keeps one hand on his holstered pistol. "Vampirates," he hisses.
Lukari
I
chortles.
hate that. I hate that so much.
Next week,
No, it's
On-
perfect.
on Light of Xaryxis, will the heroes be eaten by vampirates? Why are vampirates a thing? Can anybody say the word vampirates without feeling a little dead inside?
No, not
No,
possible.
it's the best thing ever.
And so this is another point. I keep finding these little writing snafus. Like, why is it written this way? So you find these two corpses, right? And you fish them, and they're vampirates. And you fish them aboard, and if you don't attack them and kill them like Crux wants, they like ask to join the crew. Like they just got their fleet blown up. But like, they're clearly vampirates. Like, you can't introduce vampirates in that scene and then 2 scenes later have the cliffhanger ending, right?
Oh man, Mousse was right all along.
So yeah, vampirates are a thing.
I don't like that they're a thing.
They explode into a cloud of ash when you kill them.
I hate it.
Are vampires banned in Flumph 6?
Well, they're not playable anyway.
No, I know.
Flumph 6, I am allowing a race called the Dampier, which is like a half vampire. It's not really a race. It was introduced in the Ravenloft book. It basically replaces your race with the new Dampier stats. So you could be like a gnome that got turned into a half vampire.
Okay.
That's on the table. I don't see why anybody would want to play one, but
For the edgelord factor. Come on, Dampier Warlock.
Anybody that plays a Dampier is required by law to be a rogue.
rogue or warlock, yeah, one of the two. Well, Alucard's not a rogue or a warlock.
You could be a fighter. I think that'll.
I think Alucard's got levels in like 8 classes.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
a-
he's also got a lot of magical gear.
Yeah, he's an artificer. He's a wizard. He's definitely
Alucard-
a fighter.
Alucard is the DM pet.
Yeah.
That like he's the DM PC they sent along with the wizard, the rogue, and the fighter to kill the big bad.
He's probably a paladin too, because like he like lives his whole life based on an oath that he gave to his mother.
That could be more of a monk thing or cleric.
He does have the punches.
So yeah, next week you guys will deal with some vampirates. You can't have a cliffhanger ending on deal with these vampirates 2 scenes after you literally run over a couple of vampires. What were they thinking? Spelljammer is dumb and science does not work.
And then like now we're like, whoops, we killed 2 of your crew.
I mean, they're vampires. They're already dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we dusted 2 of your crew.
And you guys, your crew is expanding because now you have Crux and Flinch
The
and
Will-O-Wisp.
Fell and a Will-O-Wisp and Topola is still here. Just
Got so next episode, Vampirates, Dead and Loving It, starring Leslie Nielsen.
yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Leslie Nielsen. Okay.
I got to push the button now. I have to go recover from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll never recover.